Hi, Soul Family. I'm running down to the dog house because I thought it would be fun to... Got little birds all around me. The light's going. I'm going to lose it in seconds, but I wanted to... I just wanted to see if we could catch the sunset. There it is. It's just going down. So I thought I'd do our... I'll just stand right here. I'll stand right here, and I'll do our reading. Let's see. No, it's not fun here. I'll go on the table. I've been running around. It's crazy outside. Nobody wants to be outside right now, right? It's like, seriously, right before Christmas? Are you mental? So we've got a new dock, and they're putting a new ramp in, and so I can't go down. There's my canoe pulled out of the water. Everything's construction. Construction! Everything's under construction. Relationships, houses, right? This is like the wrapping up of the old. Here, let's try this way so you guys can see. Can you see the sunset? There's the lake. There's the lake. Boy, it's a mess down here. Whoa. I'm tripping over everything. Okay, I'm going to just stand up here on the... And I'm going to use my fish. My fish who's always with me. Okay, so I want to show you guys something. Oh, first, when I opened up the gift box, remember that I got the box from all the people for my Christmas prezzies, and I had Sandy she painted me the two pictures. She painted, did she paint both of those for me? I know one she painted for me. I'm not sure if the other one was already done and she gave it to me. But I also saw one, you know how I've always got the unicorn with me, and I talk about, well, we all have been working with the unicorn, but I always talk about the unicorns. My unicorn is with me. And I saw this, and she had painted it, and I didn't see it. It was in the wrapping, so it fell out, and nobody got to see it. So I want everybody to see it right now. And it's a blue-eyed unicorn, a white unicorn with blue. Blue, the color of communication, the color of the ocean. Isn't he beautiful? Isn't he the most glorious creature ever? So I wanted to give her airtime. She's so talented. Okay. Every time I come down here, I'm trying to figure out what I can use to prop up my cards. I'm going to use a paint can. I just know that it's really noisy. It's very, very noisy when I slide the phone across. So I'm trying, I'm sorry, you know, and I hit it constantly tonight, even though I try. I know I'm trying. Hands free, yay! And you've got something to look at. Okay, we are going to use I don't know why I keep choosing the most difficult deck for me, but we're going to use the Faerytale Oracle. There's something in here that needs to be said. So, happy Saturday, everybody, getting ready for Christmas. I'm doing mine tomorrow night with my family, my little tiny family, my daughter and my grannis and my son-in-law. It's so strange. We're going to go over to my daughter's house. And we're having Chinese food. We're having peonies. I love peonies. I don't know what I can eat now, though, now that I'm a vegetarian. I used to get the spicy beef. Okay, you're just going to have to trust me. Oh, maybe we'll do it like this. Okay, so this one here. All right, so the Princess and the Pea. So we're talking about sensitivity here. Now, okay, so the first thing that comes up to me, for me, when I think about the Princess and the Pea, is somebody saying, oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, you're too sensitive, right? But I will tell you that as we awaken, more and more of us are not only sensitive, we are super sensitives. So you think about the Princess and the Pea. Look at her holding on to her teddy bear. Oops, sorry, there. And she doesn't look very happy there. Maybe because people are making fun of her. Maybe because she feels awkward. Maybe because she's always had this kind of sensitive, clairsentient feeling about herself. She has a knowingness, right? She's been connected. And at this time, basically, okay, so she's hiding away. So what Spirit's telling you is there's no hiding from who you are and what you know, right? You have the ability to understand and see and hear things. You've got this gift. And some people might find you difficult. They might find you super sensitive, you know? But the energy of other people bothers you. Sound might bother you. There's so many different things I'm trying to think of for myself, because it's true. If I have one of those loud motorcycles go by, it instantly makes me angry because I can't handle the sensitivity. I'm too sensitive. And the more I send, the more sensitive I become. So this one might have actually withdrawn because of the fact that they're sensitive and they're hiding out. They're either not wanting anyone to know about their sensitivities because people might think that they're strange or weird. You know, somebody said to me, I see things before they happen, and my mother said that I don't have gifts. She says that I'm crazy, that I've got something wrong with me. No, you don't. You're gifted. But maybe it's people. Oh, he's weird, or she's weird, or it's the white heron syndrome, right? So on one hand, there's two things happening here. One, you want to blend in, you want to be like everyone else, and you're not. So you've withdrawn from everyone. You're retreating. You don't, and you're trying to protect yourself. But there's also the ones that don't want their gifts to be known. They're hiding because they want to be accepted by other people. So others don't understand what it's like for us. Like for me, I will tell you what happened. I went to get gift bags for my presents, and I was driving down through Manifest. You guys don't know the area, and there was a dead animal in the road, and I thought, oh my God. And what's so bad about it is I have to look to see, and I could see from what I saw, like I didn't look close, but I could see that it was a cat. Well, that was it. I was done. So on the way back, it's in my lane, and I literally, I had to drive. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I had to drive like with my head like this and just keep my peripheral vision looking straight ahead because I couldn't look at what was there because it upsets me that much. Something went scrolling by on Facebook, and it was a friend of mine posted it actually, and it was about something to do with the dairy cow. All I saw, from what I saw, it was horrific, and I'd stopped. I wouldn't even allow myself to see it, but it took me a couple hours to get the thought out of my head. And people might think, oh, come on, or my ex-husband. He would say to me, he's my friend, right? He's a friend, and his wife is like my best friend in California. And he smokes pot, and she smokes pot, and they're like, hey, you want to have a hit? And I said, no, you know what, I don't want to take anything, and I haven't done it for a long time anyway, and it takes too long to leave my system. And I've had this argument with him about alcohol, about pot. It's in my body for hours and hours. I am affected I'm very, very sensitive. I'm not so much to the pot, to the alcohol as I am to pot. And he's like, that's ridiculous. It's out of your system in like 2 hours. And I'm like, no, it's not out of my system. It's in my system for hours and hours and hours, and I'm not driving. So we have this argument, and I'm telling you, it alters my perception. It alters my reality for hours and hours and hours. And he can't understand that. Of course, he's a stoner. He smokes pot all the time. So he's built up an immunity to it. But my body is that sensitive. So people are going to say that you're making it up, or you're being ridiculous, or come on, it's not that big of a deal. You're trying to draw attention to yourself. They don't understand that you don't realize. I did a reading, was it today or yesterday? Might have been yesterday, with this woman, and she was asking me about her cat. And I've been getting a lot of people coming to me as an animal communicator. And the cat it's the same situation that every one of them is having. The cat is urinating because they're upset, they're older, and the cat is scared. The cat is scared because, for one thing, this one person the animal was blind, and I said, she's frightened, and she doesn't know what's going on. And unfortunately, I start feeling the energy of the animal. And I was bawling. Thank God it was a text, voice text that I was working with her. But then all of a sudden she switched gears, and she said, okay, I want to switch gears now, and I want to ask about my relationship. And I said, whoa. I said, I just need a second. I said, I got to clear. I said, I got tears pouring down my face. And she's like, what? But I am that affected. When I work with people that way, I dream with people in my dreams. You may dream with these people. You don't understand how we're affected. It doesn't make sense to you. It's too much. But it is real. It is honest. And it's to the point where we will do this. We will isolate ourselves. We will pull away from people because they don't understand. And we can't express it. And I'm getting a message right now. There may be feelings inside that I feel so deeply, but if I can't get them out, the way they affect my emotions, I feel almost like it's better to hide out. It's better not to say anything at all, but that's not true. So Spirit's saying here, this is who you are. You have to accept who you are. And the ones that don't understand, the ones that are giving you a hard time, they don't recognize that what you have is a gift. These are rare qualities. This is a beautiful gift. It makes your life challenging, but it can make your life also beautiful. And they are making you feel bad about something very beautiful about yourself. People are told, you don't have gifts, you're what is it? You're neurotic, or you are delusional, or you're having illusions, or you're schizophrenic. You're not hearing voices, you're schizophrenic. No, you're not. But I've had several of my friends literally put in mental hospitals and had all kinds of tests run down. And I was talking to this person, and she was saying, yeah, well, they did that and they did this. It was my really good friend had it done. Her mother did it to her. And this test results came back, this person is completely fine. She's not exhibiting any of the aspects of what the mother says. I'm just wondering if the problem isn't the mother. And what the truth of the matter is sometimes other people are your triggers. They will trigger you. And that is the case in this situation. It wasn't my friend who was delusional that had the problem. Her mother is a narcissist, abusive woman. But she was groomed. She was groomed since she was a young child. And she believed. And I said, why were you not offended? The results came back completely fine. And she says, well, we'll have to find a different doctor then. And I'm like, lady, you need to go have a doctor check you out because you've got the problem, not my friend, right? But they're groomed from such a young age that they believe what they're told. So you may be this one that's been retreating because maybe you feel odd, feel weird. You've been told your whole life that you're difficult. But when you learn how to work with your gifts, you can be of great value to people. I am helping so many people. It's difficult on me, and I've got to clear myself. But I've been able to work with people with their animals that they haven't been able to figure things out. 2 of the animals were going to be put down if the situation wasn't cleared up. And we figured out what it was. One of my friends, I told you, went and got cat diapers. And she wrote me today, and she said, I just want you to know, everything's working out beautifully. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. That cat would have been put to sleep. So my gifts, I know what I have. I'm not hiding my gifts, but I don't have a problem. I'm an Aries. I don't really care. I don't give a shit what you think. I never have. But other people may want to fit in. They may have always felt strange. They may have always been ostracized and made fun of, and very different from anyone else, because I associate with spiritual people. The people that are not spiritual, Spirit has removed from my life. That's why we need to pay attention when people start moving out of our life. There's a reason it's happening. Even if it's family, like my father, he doesn't understand why I do what I do, and he doesn't agree with it, and that's his right. But I'm safeguarded not being around those people. And so there might be friends too that you have to pull away from, because the people that you're around are making you feel like you need to isolate yourself or hide your gifts instead of encouraging you and saying, wow, that's amazing. Let's work with this. Let's develop this, right? I would say let's develop these gifts. These are amazing. My gifts are I recognize what they are. So you need to harness the power that you have. Pull the energy that you have and use it to help others. Not stuff it, not hide it. You can't pretend who you are and what with the gifts that you've been given. They've been opened. Your box is open, the gifts are out. So Spirit is saying it's time for you to use it. Be authentic, be who you truly are. Allow that ultimate sensitivity to be revealed. And it can be really, really amazing that you can connect on such a deep level. You can love so deeply being that sensitive, right? You're very aware. I've often, we have to be careful about our energy, keep a shield up around ourselves, and recognize that when we are in negative places like bars, or if you're around people like at the workplace, if people are gossiping, or if there's people that are complaining a lot, anything that's negative energy, we have to be careful because we'll take up that energy in, and it's not ours to carry. So we have to learn. Here's a message I need to send out. I have empaths for friends. I have empaths that I love very deeply, and they are very gifted. Yes, just like this super sensitive. But they have not been shielding themselves. They have not been putting, they've been an open channel, basically. And I've talked about this before. You need to shut your channel down. You are open to everyone. Other people are getting in, and they're manipulating you because they're getting in your head. And you wonder why you've got things going around and around in your head, because there are other people that are also gifted, but they're not working in the light. They're working in negative energy. And they will go in and they'll mess with your mind. They'll go in there and they'll try and manipulate you, and they can manipulate you. So if you're around people, you're thinking, yeah, but I am around empaths. Yeah, but are they working in the light? Look at their works. How are they behaving? Because you may think it's a friend. It's not a friend. They're in there. I'm telling you right now, there is somebody that is deceptive. I have somebody stabbing me in the back right now. I already know it. I'm not quite certain. They haven't shown me who it is. But I am very careful about protecting my shield. But my friends that are empaths are not doing this. They are allowing these manipulative mothers, fathers, cousins, friends that have gifts as well to get in and use their energy and mess with their head. So you have to ask that your shield be erected. You have to ask that you're protected because you're not doing it. You don't realize. And when you aren't using your gifts a lot, when you're in maybe a difficult circumstance in your life, your shield becomes very, very weak. And so anybody can get in and use your channel. They can use your energy. So please, please, please make sure that you're protecting yourself and that you're asking Archangel Michael to put a shield around you and cut cords with anyone, especially the ones that have made comments to you about you being strange or being weird. Those are the people you need to cut cords with. Those are the people that you need to have shields around you. See yourself in that titanium shield, mirror plated, so that they can't get in and they can't hurt you. You have to be consciously aware. I need to shut my channel down, shut my channel down. And like I told you before, I had people coming into my dreams that I was connecting with on, from overseas. They were literally showing up in my dreams. And they were dreaming with me and seeing me in sexual ways. And I said, no, that is not me. And sorry. Well, this one person was having relations with his wife and was seeing me. He was getting off on seeing me. And I'm like, you know what? This is not okay. I blocked and deleted this person. I've had nothing since them, no connection with them since. But just because you're connecting and you've got the ability to connect with somebody doesn't mean that you have the right to mess with them. And now that you know that that's happening, please be aware, okay? So doesn't mean you have to be terrified. It just means that you have to protect yourself. So maybe that's what you've done. You've pulled in and you've protected yourself, right? But you have to understand that you can work with this. Don't hide yourself from the world. Don't put a wall up against everybody, just the ones that are coming in. Just the ones that are making fun of you, just the ones that are negating your gifts, just the ones that are questioning you, telling you that you don't have gifts, that these are mental problems. Stay away from that. Those are the people you need to protect yourself. Hold on to your teddy bear, your best friend, okay? This is basically a sign to you that you have empathic qualities, not delusions. You have talents, sensory talents. You can feel your way through life. You're a feeling person. You're somebody who feels your way through, and maybe even though you're a feeling person, you may not be able to express how you feel, but you are a feeling person. You need to create a sanctuary where you feel safe like this, where you feel comforted, where you are at ease. You need to trust in your senses. You have 6 senses, and you have got to trust in all of them. Don't push them away. I had people writing to me, I would dream with this person, and the person said, my mother says that I don't have gifts. I said, yeah, you do. You're dreaming with me. We have the exact same dream. You're gifted. So pay attention to your gifts and believe in them, in what you have. And recognize that you don't have to hide who you are, because the people, like I said, the ones that have been around you that haven't accepted you, or you've been trying maybe to fit into this group or this society or even within your family, and you never have, you never will. But there are ones like me that you will be accepted by. You will be loved for who you are. And I don't look at you and think you're strange. I look at you and think, how can we teach each other? How can we grow more? Imagine what we can do if we're going to embrace our gifts, and together we can bounce off of each other, right? This is about growth. This is about honoring ourselves. So right now, another message is, it could be at this particular moment, you're very, very sensitive. You might be very highly sensitive. So as I've been feeling this way, and I've been keeping myself squirreled up. I know how to protect myself. I just pull away from people. So maybe when people have been, when they have just been newly awakened, a flood of gifts may open up. Some people wake up and they have everything turn on and they don't know what the hell to do with it. I've had stuff that I was like, what? And so maybe that's, you didn't know how to handle it, and maybe you've pulled away. So instead of hiding from it, come out of your little den, keep yourself a sacred place where you know you're safe, keep yourself around people that you're safe with, and start exploring your gifts and recognizing them as gifts, not curses. Okay? There's a lot in that one, wasn't there? Okay, so dedication. So the swan, the wild swans, I'm looking at this, and what's interesting to me, sorry I have to keep turning around so you guys can see it, is it looks like an ornament, doesn't it? It's like a little ornament, and I'm looking at the snow and the white feathers. It looks like an ornament for a tree. It's pretty. My daughter has little globes like that she makes things out of. So dedication. So the swan. So this is about. Let me see what this story is. So a fairy comes out to meet her, and she hold on. So the fairy came out to meet her, was fair and shining, yet she resembled an old woman who gave her the berries in the forest and told her of the swans who wore golden crowns. So somebody's told her about these swans that are in this forest. And I guess her, what's going on here is, that's weird about this deck is that you only get little stories in there halfway through the story. It's bizarre. So somehow her brothers have been held captive, okay? So this fairy, she says, your brothers can be set free, but you have to have the courage and tenacity to do it. So what do I have to do in order to set somebody free? She's being told that the water will change when she touches it with her hands, and stones will change when she touches it with her hands, but she won't feel any pain that her fingers feel. How interesting, because there's no heart. It can't suffer. It can't suffer. It doesn't have heartache. How interesting. So she says, she shows her a stinging nettle. Have you seen a stinging nettle? They hurt like hell. I've had them on my foot and in my fingers. Oh my God, they burn. So she shows her the stinging nettle, and she says, these nettles, they grow in this cave where you sleep, and only those ones that grow upon the graves may be used. So you got to gather them up, and they're going to burn your hands to blisters, but remember, she wasn't going to be able to feel, right? So you're going to get these, and you're going to crush them with your feet, and that's what it was, because the fairy, she couldn't touch them, but this one could. So she's saying, get them, crush them up. You'll have flax. Flax is like flaxseed, and you're going to spin them and weave them into shirts of the knights in shining armor, the kind of mesh shirts that they would wear. That's what they were going to be woven into nettle mesh shirts. So it's like a protection, right? And you're going to throw them over the swans, and then the spell will be broken. But keep in mind, when you do this, even though, because the brothers have been turned into swans, even when she does this, and the spell's going to be broken, there's something that she has to do, and it's going to last for years, and you're not allowed to speak about it. And the first word you say is going to kill. It's going to be like a stab to the heart for her brother. So she's not allowed to speak. She's trying to save her brothers, okay? So she's going to throw these nettle mesh sheets or whatever over top of the swans, which is going to bring them back, to life as her brothers, but she's not allowed to talk. And as soon as she talks, it's going to be like a hot knife going through her brother's heart. So she says, remember this. Their lives, rest at the fact that you have to be quiet about something, because if you open your mouth, if you say anything at this point on, you've saved your brothers, but if you now speak, she's not allowed to speak at all. She's got to be like mute. So this is basically, so then she gives her the nettles, and she's awakened. Her gifts are awakened, okay? So basically, this is about suffering in order to save a family member or people that we care for. And it wasn't their fault. We got this the other night, the same kind of story that somebody was trying to protect. Remember the brothers, one was turned into a bear and one was turned into a deer? So you're trying to help these people. It wasn't their fault. They didn't do it. And that's what she was trying to do. She was trying to save her brothers. They were suffering from something that wasn't their fault. So this is a sacrifice that you make. And you're going to make the sacrifice, and no one's going to know what you've done for them for a very, very long time. So you have done something for somebody's highest good. They have no idea. Nobody knows what you've gone through and what you've done for them. You have to be quiet about it for some strange reason. So this young woman, she did this to save them. And it burned her hands and it mangled her hands. It disfigured her hands because she picked up those stinging nettles, and she's suffering. She's got pain. She's got it on her feet. She's got it in her hands because she had to go in this cave and get this stuff, right? And the whole problem about this whole thing is she's got all that going on. She's so dedicated, and nobody understands what's going on with her. What's going on? They don't trust her. There's something strange going on with this person, but she can't tell them anything, right? So she looks like there's something. She's crazy, and she's been so dedicated, but she can't say anything. She has to continue to keep doing this, I guess, to watch over her brothers, to make sure her brothers are safe. So this is like when doctors or other people, God, I'm going to get upset now. I'm going to try not to, because I've seen this in my dream. I just talked about this today. When doctors do horrible things in the name of healing, I said someone that I love, I saw this person with electrodes on their head, like all these tests that were done in the name of medicine, in the name of trying to see what was wrong, in the name of healing. And it's, here's another example. They're not doing it to hurt them. It's just, this is what had to happen. It's like a burn victim. The things that they have to go through is excruciating. I can't imagine. I can't ever imagine. I could never do it. I could never be an animal doctor. There's no way. I could never do it, because you have to hurt sometimes people in order to help them, right? And it's excruciating pain. So this is, and it's, but you're dedicated to you're dedicated. It hurts you to do it, but you're dedicated to your mission, whatever it is. You're focused on it. So it could be something else in your life that nobody understands, because you're not allowed to. She wasn't allowed to speak about it, right? She wasn't allowed to talk about it. Nobody understood what she was doing or why. So it's like you have something. There's a mission that you're on, and you're dedicated to it, but it doesn't make sense to anyone else, and you can't explain it to them. They can't understand it from your point of view. But it feels like you're mad. It's like the dedication that I have in my heart for what I believe. People think I'm crazy, but I'm dedicated to it. So they're telling you that you know what this is. Whatever this mission is for you, you know what it is. And it is kind of a little bit crazy what you're doing to the modern world, but you're dedicated. So basically what it's telling you is, it might make other people hostile. It might make the other people angry at you because you're doing something that they can't understand and you're not able to explain it for whatever reason. I'm not going to go into all the details of what I'm hearing right now in my head, the different things that could be that you have to do that you can't explain to somebody else, and so they get frustrated with you and they get angry at you. So Spirit, I guess, is saying, if this is striking a bell for you, and it is for me right now, reserve judgment. And when Spirit says, wait, everything isn't as it seems, there's more to what's going on than what you're seeing, please trust them, because there's some things that can't be explained to you right now. There's some things that may feel like it's not cool, it's unfair. If they love me, they wouldn't be doing this, or blah, blah, blah. But it will result in a healing, and it results in a breakthrough. And as bizarre as it was, she broke her brothers free from this enchantment. Remember last night in the other reading, it talked about that the two boys and the mother, and the mother raised these boys and they picked these flowers, and then it was basically a debt that was inherited. It wasn't their fault that the family and Spirit was saying it was time to walk away. They weren't responsible for what the mother had promised, but they were trying to help. They were dedicated to helping someone, but Spirit was saying it was enough. It was enough. But you may be one of these people that you're in a situation that you're trying to help somebody, you're trying to take care of something, and you can't explain it to others. And Spirit's just basically saying there's going to be healing, and you're going to be break free. It's going to bear results. It may be just misunderstood dedication to something people don't understand, like my dedication. They don't understand it, but I'm not going to explain it to them because it's my path. It could be silently working, doing something without anyone knowing for an extended period of time. It could be working at something without having the approval of ones in your life. Like what I'm doing, if I were to stay with my family, and do this work, I wouldn't be having their approval, that's for sure. But I know what it means for me. So somebody's working and doing something, they're not able to explain what they're doing. There's a reason they're doing it, and it's going to end. It's going to be bearing fruit, and there will be a healing that's taking place. It could be somebody's protecting someone else that's going through some kind of therapy or going through some kind of physical healing. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. You'll know what the message is for you. Promises. Okay, that was what I was going to say. So now I'm going to say it. I wasn't going to, and I thought, because it felt contradictory. So this is the story again about the promises that you make, and the promises that this is not. This is about the two boys who made the promise, and you have been doing this to help someone. You've been silently not able to explain what you've been doing because you've been trying to help someone, but Spirit's saying it's not yours to do anymore. It's not yours to carry. You need to walk away from it. That is confirmation. That was what I was going to say, and then I thought I'm not going to say that if it doesn't come up, but that was what we just got. So it's basically like the sins of the parents that the children have to pay for. It wasn't their fault. They're taking care of something that happened. The consequence of actions, look how beautiful it is out there. The consequences of actions from a parent, and the child has basically inherited this, this debt, and they're trying to pay it off, and they can't explain it to other people, and it's causing chaos in this person's life. And Spirit's saying at this time, you are not to do it anymore. It's not yours to carry. You've been doing this long enough. And it also talks about, remember, about how have you gotten the things that you got, right? Promises. You make your, if you we'll give you protection if you give me this much money. Or yeah, I've been gambling and I went in over my head, and so, you're gonna go to a loan shark or whatever, and you're gonna get money to pay off your debt. But you promise that you pay off the debt, and then you go gamble more, and everything goes tits up, and all of a sudden they're coming after you, and it's dangerous. So you got to be really careful about the consequences. But more than anything tonight in this message, it's about inherited family debt. It could be also about inherited madness, right? And somebody in the family has got issues, and you have gifts, and so they're telling you that you are mad. No, you're not. You have gifts, but you're confusing it with that because somebody in your family actually does have mental issues. It also talks about sacrifices that are being made, being prepared to make a sacrifice. And what's so sad is that ultimately the one that was giving them of themselves, the one that was sacrificing themselves, was ultimately spared. But there was a debt that had to be paid, and it was a generational debt. So at this time, what they're talking about is someone's coming back from this debt. So you may have been going through this time period of silence, and you couldn't explain yourself. You couldn't tell them what was going on, and you've been suffering, and they've gotten mad at you, and they didn't understand why you weren't there for them. I just have to show you the sky because it's so incredible. I'm looking at that red skies at night, sailor's delight. Red skies in the morning, sailor's warning. So red skies at night, sailor's delight. So, and this is about going, the mermaid that made the deal with the fishermen at sea. And so, and sometimes they drown, but I'm talking about they're coming back now, and that's why the sky is the way it is. That's confirmation. This is about surviving your destiny and changing your fate. It's time to come home. It also is about you're restless and you want to find a home. You want to come home, but there's a debt that still needs to be paid. What do you need to do? Is there an amend that needs to be made? Is there an apology that needs to be made? God, that's so gorgeous. I'm going to let you guys, you can't see it as well like that. I'm going to shuffle one more card because that wasn't our card, and then I'm going to hold it up again because that was just, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm so excited that I came down here. Except for the fact that I'm getting a sore throat now. Oh, I can't do it that way. I remember last time I dropped it on the deck and it was so loud. Okay, so this one is the Light Princess. So it's talking about not being grounded. So maybe too much in your head, too much in your dream world. This is about one, she's floating above, and she's not able to hold on to anything of any serious nature. She's not, I know people like this. Okay, look at her with her little aviator goggles on, then I'm going to let you guys look outside. Because it's just getting more and more beautiful. God, look at the zigzags. Oh, I'm going to just kind of slowly scroll and let you guys look at this. So people who are unable to, they don't want to talk about anything deep. I was married to someone like this. They also can't talk about anything sad, right? They keep everything light. Everything has to be light. They look at everything in their life from a distance, right? God, look at the reflection on the water. Oh, my word. So basically, this one's floating around in the sky like this beautiful, pretty sky. I'm just going to float around the sky. I'm not going to look at it right now. It's kind of like Scarlett O'Hara saying, I'll think about it tomorrow in Tara. I'm not going to think about it now. I'm procrastinating. Remember, that's what Spirit was saying. Look at that color. I'm procrastinating. So this little one that's floating up in the sky, the only thing that can weigh her down is water. So water is associated with memory, death, and emotional maturity, because water is emotion, right? So the message of this is talking about an emotional experience. It could be an emotional memory. It could be you having to look at your past and facing it honestly. It's about feeling the heaviness and the need to feel it. Sometimes we don't want to look at it, right? When soulmates, look at the rays coming at the top. God, that's incredible. Sometimes you don't want to look at it because it's painful. But when you don't look at it, you're not able to deal with it, and you're not able to let it go. Remember that song we got earlier today? I keep dragging around what's bringing me down. If I just let go, I'd be free. But I'm not really looking at what the problem is. I've seen things before in my dreams, and I've shared them with someone that I love, and we dreamed together, and when we started to connect, everything started coming up. Stuff that had been stuffed down since childhood. And that's what happens when soulmates and twin souls come together. That's what we're meant for that to happen, because a healing needs to take place. But a lot of times people don't want to feel that, the heaviness of that situation. And then they carry it with them for the rest of their lives. Some people choose to never look at it, and they're bitter and they're angry, and they have, because for every emotional issue there's or physical even ailment, you can make yourself sick. Any physical ailment, there's an emotional issue. Sometimes issues that you're having, like nightmares, and there's all kinds of different things that can go on, migraines, and because you're refusing to look at something that happened in your life. My friend Troy has post-traumatic stress from Desert Storm. Something happened, and I know he started to tell me one time he has incredible migraines. It's terrible. Nothing helps him. Excruciating pain, flashbacks, but he refuses to look at it because something happened there that he doesn't want to look at, and he's not able to move forward. So if you choose to stay ungrounded and focus only on the light and only on the happy, you're not being realistic. You aren't going to ascend. You have to get grounded. You've got to come down to earth. So in this story, this little bubble princess that's floating around in the sky, happy to be up there, la-di-da, la-di-da. My ex-husband used to say, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I came here to have fun. That's it. Didn't ever want to look at anything. But he suffers from anxiety and depression, really, really bad. Agoraphobia, all kinds of things. All of it is because of the things he doesn't want to look at. So right now, Spirit's saying, there are issues, maybe an emotional issue in your life that you don't want to look at because you don't want to deal with it. Maybe you're this one who's had to go away and take care of something. Maybe there was a health concern, and that was it. There was a health concern, and you went away to heal, and you didn't want anyone to know. And so there's so many things that can be taken care of just by an explanation. Such pain and hurt that's been caused because you didn't want anyone to know. And so this emotional issue and pain that's resulted, and it could have been something in your own life that you had to deal with, but maybe you were embarrassed by it or ashamed of it. But Spirit's saying, no, you need to face it. You need to deal with it. It's time to take steps to reconnect with the ground, with the earth, with your reality of your life, with people that you have pulled away from. Fantasy can become cruelty. So when you're connecting with someone, especially if you're somebody who's empathetic and you're connecting on a soul level with somebody, but you never allow it to come into the physical, that's cruel. That's cruelty. So right now, you need to come down out of fantasy land, out of dreamland. You need to come down and be serious. It's time to get real. It's time to consider yourself vulnerable, because right now you're thinking you're immune. I'm not vulnerable. No, because you're not looking at anything. You're minimizing issues that need attention right now. There are laws, emotional depth, being ungrounded, spiritual laws you need to pay attention to and heed, because right at this point, by refusing to face the reality of what's going on, you are hurting yourself as well as others, and you are cruel. So maybe for a time you weren't talking because of whatever the situation was. You felt that you were doing something to heal, but at this point, Spirit's saying it's time to come out of that, and it's time to speak. It's time to reconnect. It's also time for you to just get your head out of the sky and start looking at life realistically. You do need to get serious with your life here. It's time to move forward on your spiritual path. You have awakened, you know better. It's time. That's it. So, fun reading, Kay, because it's so beautiful. I'm getting really, really cold. My hands are freezing right now, and I've got a sore throat just from standing here. So I'm going to say goodnight right now, and thank you guys. You know, I forget when I do these readings. If anyone would like help with dream analysis, would like a personal reading, would like long-distance Reiki healing, my website is www.theangelswhisper.com. If you would like to purchase a ceremonial sage wand, my Queen of Wands ceremonial sage wand, just go to my page and explore my page, my website, and see what I offer. My website is sherricolumbus@yahoo.com, SherriColumbus. Oh, I just got in my head. You know what? It's Christmas time. People are really wanting, it's very emotional right now. People wanting their family around, especially ones who don't have much family. So Spirit's asking you to reconnect. And if you're considering reconnecting, why don't you consider doing it now? It would really mean a lot. There's a lot of us that feel very alone right now. And we'd really love to hear from the ones that are missing from our lives. Look at the red on the water. I love that. Mirrored reflection. And yes, I was just asked recently if I was working during my holiday when I go to Sturgeon Bay. Yes, I am. I'm actually working tomorrow. I think I'm going to do my reading. We're having our Christmas tomorrow night, so I'll be working on Monday too. So I have been doing private readings, so I'm available, and I will be working when I'm in Wisconsin. So if I could help you, I would be honored. So one last look, and we'll say goodnight. Sweet dreams, everyone.